Spring break's over, but the market's starting to gear up for the fanatic summer selling season. Hey everybody, Tim Weigel here with Watson Realty, and I'm sure everyone's all excited. Spring break's done, kids are back in school. Yay! March Madness is going on. 48 teams are out of the bracket, only 16 remain. A lot of stuff going on. Things are fast and furious, and I have a feeling the real estate market's about to get fast and furious as well. So, you ready for this week's update? I know I am. So, let's go ahead and take a look at everything. All right, so here is our fancy PowerPoint for the week. So this is covering your market from March 1st to the 23rd. Let's see how we're moving now that we're done with the spring break. So in Casselberry, we are up to 117 sold. So that's an increase of 119 actives, which is an increase 117 actives. Oh, I can't talk right today. That's an increase of 9 week over week. Pending though decreased by 4 and solds bumped up by 10 to 18. Median sales price took a jump of 17.5 to $388,500, while days on market decreased to 66 days. Now, when you compare that to a year ago, same time frame, you are talking about more solds year over year. So that's moving a little bit better for us. Median sales price is 338 off those 14 sold. So you're seeing a little jump in the Casselberry market. And then, of course, days on market, we saw a big jump as it was 11 days back then. Now let's move over to Oviedo. In Oviedo, we have 150 actives, which is an increase of 1 active. 94 pending, decreased by 6. And then solds jumped up 22 solds to 54. That 54 is more than the 47 it had last year. Now, median sales price pretty much stayed the same at 485, 250. While the median last year was 445, 900. So that's an increase of about 20 grand or 40 grand. And then days on market, we're at 26 days currently compared to 22 last year. So roughly the same on that. Now let's go to Winter Springs. So in Winter Springs, we saw 131 actives that increased by 6. Pendings stayed the same, so no new pendings this week. Winter Springs must really be on spring break. Closed jump up to 32, so a 12 point jump up, which is about 5 less than we had last year, same time frame. But median sales price last year was 440, this year is 510, 103, which was about $113,000 jump up. And then days on market decreased 17 days to 46, but that's still almost double what it was last year. So Longwood jumped up to 189 actives. That was a 19 active increase. Pending is 78, which decreased by 9. Solds were 41, which was an increase of 14 solds. And that 41 solds is more than 38 last year at the same time frame. Median sales price, however, was 454, which is more than this year at 420. While days on market was 26 days compared to 20 last year, so they're not too far off there. Now, let's go to Winter Park. Winter Park had 334 actives, 115 pending, and 54 sold, which is less than the solds last year. Median sales price, however, was 512.5, which is slightly better than the 480 for last year. And the days on market is about dead on the same. Now, let's move on over to Orlando. Orlando has over 3,600 active homes, 1,200 plus that are pending. Now, the solds, we sold 560, which is a lot less than the 709 last year. So, and then the median sales price, we're at 391 compared to 385 last year. But the days on market almost doubled as we're at 47 compared to 24. Now, let's go ahead and peruse the counties. So as you can tell, and the biggest thing to look at, I'd say, is the median. Seminole County median is about 415, gives you a little idea of where everything's heading. Orange County's median is about 425.5. Volusia is 337.5. And Lake County is 364,245. So keeps going up, up and up, which I know doesn't help with affordability for especially the first time home buyers. And the American dream is all about living and buying and owning real estate and owning homes and things like that. And I know the market's really tough to do that right now. So, but there's ways. Now, what does this mean for you? So, predicting the real estate market is kind of like predicting your March Madness bracket. And what that means is you're probably going to be wrong because things change so fast. So, right now, what I can tell you is that the market is shifting into a seller, well, not really a seller's market, but it's definitely a balanced market. You're going to start seeing more and more homes sold, and you can already see that in some of these areas that I pointed out, where year over year we sold more. Okay. I think we're going to start seeing more of that going into the summer. I think you're also going to start seeing more buyers get off the fences and start looking for the next move. Rates are getting better, even though the rates didn't go up. Conventional is 6.5%. So, which is better than when we were almost 7. So things are slowly getting better. Now, as a buyer, you have the ability to look at a home and not have to feel rushed to make a decision. You can actually negotiate. So I recommend now's the time to buy because you have the ability to negotiate the terms that is better for you, which you haven't had the luxury of doing recently. So hope this helps. Again, any questions, feel free to reach out. Love to help you. So till next week, I'll see y'all later.